Hello everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're making a recipe that I have lots of parents requesting because I used to do lunches for about 120 kids every Sunday for Sunday school. And I used to make fettuccine in a cheese sauce. And the kids loved it. I'm not doing it this year, I'm taking a break. So I've got the mothers asking, please, the kids really want it, can you please do it? So I thought, let me do it. I'm going to show you how to make a cheese sauce from scratch, and then I'm also going to show you what the ingredients we're going to need to assemble the pasta itself. It's a very quick recipe, as if you get the white sauce, if you get the cheese sauce done, then it's really simple to just add all the other stuff in. So first I am going to show you how to make the cheese sauce, and I'll also show you what ingredients we're going to need for the fettuccine. So for the fettuccine, I just boiled about 1.5 pounds of fettuccine, and this fettuccine is going to go in our cheese sauce, and the cheese sauce we're doing is 1 pound of cheese we're putting in, so that's why we have 1.5 pounds of the pasta. We're going to do a little bit of oregano, we're going to do a little bit of basil, and then we're going to do about 2 cups of ground beef. And I have also mentioned this before, that I do my ground beef, I keep it ready in the freezer, so days where I'm really tired or I'm really not feeling well, I take it out of the freezer and my ground beef is basically done. And I will be serving this with garlic bread and salt and black pepper. So let's get started. We're going to be using 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I like using unsalted butter, that way I can really see how much salt that needs to go in there. So that means it's 4 ounces or it's half a cup. And then I have some salt to taste, and I have half a cup of white flour or all-purpose flour. The measurement of the butter and flour should be equal. So if you have 1 cup of butter, you have to have 1 cup of flour. If it's half cup of butter, then you want to use half a cup of butter. Half cup of butter, so half cup of flour. I'm just going to put this into my pan here and get it to start melting, and then I'll talk about the other ingredients. Okay, and then we're going to be using some black pepper. Now, if you don't like black pepper to show in your white sauce, you can use white pepper. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but I don't like the smell of the white pepper. It just, I don't know, even when I eat it, I can tell something has white pepper in it. So that is why I stick to black pepper. And then salt, and then we're going to do 1 pound of cheddar cheese that is shredded really well. And I love using, because it's a cheese sauce, so you know, I mean, 1 pound of cheese is awesome. And then we're going to be using milk. Now you want to use any kind of milk that you have. You can even use whole milk if you want, but I'm sticking with 2%. And we're going to be using between 2 and 2.5 cups of milk. So you can see here that my butter is melting. And once we have it completely melted, we're going to start adding all the ingredients in there. Butter has melted completely. To this, we're going to go ahead and add our flour. Now, you want to cook the butter and flour at least for 2-3 minutes to make sure that the raw taste of the flour is gone. I have tried having white sauce, and I can tell when the flour is raw. So you want to make sure that the flour is cooked, and this is the perfect consistency. Although sometimes you'll see that they'll have the flour in it and it'll be very thick, but I actually like it like this. It takes a little longer for the sauce to get thickened, but I feel like it's a foolproof recipe where your white sauce is not gonna clump on you, and you're not gonna have clumps in there. So you just want to cook this just for another couple minutes, and you'll see that you'll also be able to smell the white sauce. Like you can smell the butter and the flour. You'll just know that it looks like it's done. Also, the color of the flour should become a little bit more opaque, and so you just want to keep on stirring this. And while I'm stirring this, I'm also going to get my milk ready. It has darkened up a little bit, and now I'm going to add my milk in there, and I'm going to stir. I'm also going to add we're going to add 2 cups first, and I think I'm going to need another half cup in there, so we'll do that. And then you still want to keep on stirring it. Okay, now we're going to stir this until it's pretty much thickened. And at this point, I'm also going to go ahead and add my salt to taste. But before I completely get done with it, you want to do a final taste test to make sure that you've got enough salt in there. I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit of black pepper on it. Now that's completely, like I said, optional. And you want to wait until the white sauce is completely getting thickened before we add the cheese in there. It has thickened up really well, and we can thicken it up more if we wanted to, but I don't want to because I'm going to add the cheese in there. This took exactly 20 minutes and stirring it continuously. So now we'll go ahead and add our cheese in there. And when the white sauce is a little not too thick, it's really easier to melt the cheese in there. If it gets too thick, then it's hard to melt that cheese. We're just going to wait until it gets really nice and beautiful color, and all the cheese is going to melt in there. Now, I honestly have not tried any other cheeses to make this sauce except for Velveeta cheese, and that melts really well too. So if you want to use Velveeta cheese, that's perfectly fine. You can just cut them up in cubes, like 1-inch cubes, and then you can add it to the sauce. So at this point, you can see that if you want to make your sauce a little bit more runny, this is the time you would add a little bit more milk in there. Now, like I said, I'm using this sauce for making pasta, so I will add just a little bit of milk in there, just so that it's not too much sauce and less of the pasta. But look at how beautifully this has melted, and we've still got a little bit more to go. I mean, it's just going to become a beautiful silky smooth sauce. And this is the time you want to do a taste test, because you want to make sure that your salt is perfect. There's nothing like making good food and then putting it on the table and it's not seasoned well, because that ruins the whole first impression on the food. So in the white sauce, I'll go ahead and add the now I used to make this for kids, so I didn't want too much oregano in it, so about a half a teaspoon of oregano and half a teaspoon of basil. But that also, now it depends on you. If you like a lot of the oregano and basil in there, then add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper in there. I just love the black pepper taste in the cheese sauce. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my cooked ground beef in here. Now, you can make this of chicken as well. And I forgot to mention that when I did used to do it for the kids, I did use chicken sometimes, and I used to use ground beef sometimes. It really just depends what you want to use. Although ground beef, for us, when we get the kosher one, it's more expensive than the chicken. But we've been eating chicken all last week, so I thought, you know what, I need a change. So that's why I'm using ground beef. And now I'm just going to take the... and when I cooked my pasta, what I did was, after it was cooked, I washed it with really cold water, and then I added some olive oil on it so that it's not going to stick. And no, I didn't use this pot when I used to. I have really big pots when I made it for the kids, and it used to be fresh. Sunday morning, I'd wake up and boil like, I think it was 12 ounces of 12 pounds of pasta. So I'm just gonna And you want to put in your pasta a little at a time. Don't add everything at the same time. This time also, if you had some fresh oregano, it would be awesome. Add everything in there. So basically, once your cheese sauce is done and your pasta is boiled, this dish comes together very, very quickly. This is one of my dishes reserved for really when I'm just not in the mood of cooking or when I'm just not feeling well. This is my go-to dish. It's very simple to make, especially if you have your meat ready. Now, you could also do it without meat and just do the white sauce. But I'm telling you, the ground beef tastes so good, and so does the chicken. All right. Now, if you're going to have leftovers and your pasta gets really, really thick, just add a little bit more milk in there and put it on low heat, and it's going to heat up really, really well. Okay. So our pasta is done. Forgot to grab a fork. Okay. And what I'm going to do to serve this pasta is basically just, and yeah, when I did used to do it for the kids, I also used to have garlic bread for them. Now you could add a bit more cheese on it if you want it to go, but I'm not going to. I don't like it too cheesy. I think we have enough. And now we're gonna do a quick taste test, because you don't want to serve this with less salt. I know what's missing. A piece of my really hot garlic bread and my fettuccine in cheese sauce is just, it's absolutely silky and super delicious. I'm sorry. It is so silky, so smooth, so cheesy, and absolutely delicious. And then we've got the oregano and basil in there, and it's just super, super delicious. So give this a try. Let me know what you think. Don't be shy to hit the like button. Drop me a comment or two. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.